Now see, last class we have discussed about that your CPM critical path analysis method for network analysis for project planning. Today we will the same thing we will explain with some examples. Yeah, question is visible. Example slides are moving. Can you tell somebody the slides are moving? It is on that some problem or it is still in that first slides?
So it is on the problem.
Example में
Problem.
answer.
Okay, all right, it is moving. So just for example, this is I have taken just in a mining industry that they got just briefly I am explaining the problem. You can read out that a company has to start a mining, and before start of the mining activities they are going to construct the office buildings, and they have the time in hand, 1 year of time to construct all the office building for smooth operations of the mining activities after 1 year. So just for that, they have identified some of the tasks here for constructions of the building. And this is excavation work for foundation, placing the foundation, fixing the side wall, roof. So these are the basically, if you have to construct a building, these are the activities you require. And the sequence of activities also they have identified. And you can see this is activity A to M. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 activities are they have identified, and these are the sequence of activities. You can also see the predecessors, that means how a particular activities are predecessed by that. So this is the relationship they have found out, the project manager has been studied, identified, and the duration also they have in weeks. They have.
सर स्लाइड चेंज नहीं हुआ है सर.
Okay.
हाँ सर. यस सर. अब
So the duration, 13 activities A to M, they have identified, and accordingly that relationship predecessor activities of each activity, these are identified, and also the duration of each activity, this are identified. Now if you take the sum of all these, you can find it is I think 76 weeks, but you have only 1 year of time, and you can parallelly do some of the activities. If you have to do the analysis, optimize the schedule, completion time, as well as the cost. So we have to do that your project analysis, network analysis for the planning. And this is if you see, these are the activities. Based on that, we are going to first construct the network diagram. So here the questions you have to answer for this problem: how can the project be displayed graphically to better visualize the flow of the activity? That means we are graphically represents the network. For graphical representation we will make for a network analysis, so you can also visualize this better, that how the flow of the activities are done. Second one is that what is the total time required to complete the project if no delays occurs. Third one, when do the individual activities need to start and finish at the latest to meet the project completion time. Fourth is that when can the individual activities start and finish if no delays occur. Fifth is that which are the critical bottlenecks activities where any delays must be avoided to prevent delaying of project completion. Next is for the other activities, how much delay can be tolerated without delaying the project completion. Other activities means here this is indicating non-critical activities. Then given the uncertainties in accurately estimating the activity duration, what is the probability of completing the project by the deadline? So we can also estimate the probability for that. If extra money is spent to expedite the project, what is the least expensive way of attempting to meet the target completion time within 40 weeks? How should ongoing cost be monitored to try to keep the project within the budget? So here, these are the questions. If you see the last three questions, if you have to do the uncertainty analysis and the probability, if you have to determine, this cannot be done. This is not generally done in the CPM, because in the CPM we are not going to critical path method. We are not going to consider the probability. We have estimated the time with a certainty, 100% certainty. There is no probability, probable plus minus on that your estimated time. Second thing is also that if you have to expedite the project, so if you have to crash that project, you require what is the crash cost and what is the normal cost of the project. So the cost of normal completion time, normal cost of the project you have to estimate. And also suppose a particular activity you can complete in 5 weeks of time, and if you have to crash it to 4 weeks of time, then for 1 week reduction, how much cost, whether it will be increased, or because maybe some of the worker you have to give the overtime charges, they will charge the overtime salary for that, and your cost may increase for that, or you may have to hire an additional machineries or manpower, and for that you have to incur an extra cost for that. So this study, this type of analysis, you require the data of the cost data for the normal completion time as well as the crash cost time. And the last one, how should ongoing cost be monitored to try to keep the project within the budget? So these are the three questions we are not going to answer. For that, answering these questions, you require the additional data that we will not explain in this problem. We will explain in the later on. Now, if you see the diagram, the network diagram. So here just to referring that same activities and the predecessor activities I have also highlighted in this slide so that you can easily understand, we can trace it. So these are the A to M activities are there. Now, if you see the A activity, it doesn't have any predecessor. That means this is the starting activity and this is the starting node and this is one. So it is the first activity and doesn't have any predecessor. If you recall that rules for drawing the network diagram, this is one of the rules that you have. There will be a start node, there will be a end node. So this is and it is the increasing, the node number is going to increase as you move from the start node to the end node. Now A activity first. B is that if you see the activity B is A is the predecessor of that B activity. That means B is there, A is predecessor. Only A is predecessed by this B. That means as soon as A will be complete, you can start the activity B. But before completion of activity A, you cannot start B. So this is the B is the predecessor of A. Similarly, C is the predecessor of B. That means after completion of B, you can start the job C. So B is the predecessor of C. Similarly, D is the predecessor of C. So D is the predecessor of C. So you can see the D activity. This is immediately after completion of the C, the D activity can be started. So this is the D, the C is the predecessor of the D. And you can see there is a C is the predecessor of activity E also here, E also. That means C is also predecessed by activity E, you can see. And also if you see this job activity I, it is also predecessed by C. So this is I is also predecessed by C. So that I will see later on. So one by one, just I will check it. So D is predecessed by C. So once we complete the job activity C, so we can start the job D and E parallelly. So the D is there, E is there. Then you can see F is the predecessor of E. So F is the job E. Once you complete the job E, that there is another job will start. It is F. So this is you can make and draw diagram, and that is F. E is predecessed by that your F. Similarly, that your G is predecessor of that, D is the predecessor of G. So D is the predecessor of this G activity, and H is predecessed by E and G. So there are two predecessor for job H. So you can see H is predecessed by G, and as I told, if you there is a E job, we cannot directly here we can directly connect this job E from node 3 to node 7. This can be directly connected here, E job. And if we do that, that means it will show you that job E and G will be are the predecessor of H. So that can be done. But if you see, there is an you cannot do if that your H is predecessed by that your G and E, and if you have to make another network, you cannot do this. This is not acceptable. But from different node, you can draw the path here, and that can be done. But here additional one dummy path, I have showed a dummy path here. You can see this is a 0. This is because if you correlate with this, that means F is the predecessor of job E only. F is the, that means sorry, E is the predecessor of F only, job F. Now, if you connect this here, and if you try to make a link of this job F here from in this node, that means G and E will be also the predecessor of this F, and that will violate because E is the only predecessor of F. So that's why we have to connect like that way. That means here both the conditions are fulfilled. If you see that E and G are the predecessor of H, that means E and G are the predecessor of H. So here it is the predecessor. That means this is a dummy activity. This is a 0 time it will take, and you can directly say that E is the predecessor of this job H. And also it is fulfilling the criteria that E is the predecessor of F. So E is the predecessor of F, and that's why you have to accordingly draw the network diagram. You should not violate any of the constraint, any of the rules here. It is written, you have identified. Now if you see, C is the predecessor of I. So here from I, C is the predecessor of I. So here we have drawn it. F and I are the predecessor of J. So F and I are the predecessor of J. Here you can see we have directly connected here. There is no dummy path because these two are not coming from directly from here. You cannot do two paths like from two nodes. But if there are third node, if you are connecting it, you can do it. So I and F are the predecessor of job G. I and F, two predecessor are there. So accordingly we have drawn it. J is the predecessor of K. J is the predecessor of K job. Then AK is the predecessor of L. So K is the predecessor of L. And then H and L are the predecessor of M. So here it is H and it is L. It is the predecessor of job M. And this is the end of the project. That means this is the end node. So this is the how to draw the network diagram from the activity as well as the predecessor. This relationship you have to identify it as a project manager, and accordingly you have to draw the network diagram. Now from here you can easily understand the flow of the activities, which are the activity can be concurrently done. That means here if you see this D, E and I can be started simultaneously as soon as you can complete the job C. So you can start all the three jobs, but if you don't have the resources and manpower, sufficient manpower to conduct all the three jobs, you have to first give the importance, as I already mentioned, that critical tasks. Which are the critical tasks? So if you have additional manpower and resources, you can deploy and you can work concurrently either of the three activities simultaneously. And there is a non-critical task, you have some flexibility, you can delay to some extent, you can make delay to some extent, and there is a limit that how much delay you can do in a particular activity. You can start and from the starting time and the end time of that, and you can accordingly analyze this network for further analysis. Now you can see the next analysis is that I have calculated, I have already showed you that your calculations, how to do it. Here I'm not, because there are so many number of paths are there. We will in a tabular format, I will explain that these are the activities predecessors and that was the duration. And for each activity you have, so this is a activity started from the early start is 0 and the early finish, since it is taking 2 weeks of time, so early finish is 2. So this calculation, blue color shaded, these two columns are calculated during the forward pass and these two are calculated during the backward pass. Similarly, as soon as you complete the activity A, you can start the job B. So this is starting time, early start time is 2 and it will take 5 weeks of time. So the early finish is 7. If you immediately start it without any delay, you can start at 2 weeks, after 2 weeks, and then you can finish within 7 weeks. Similarly, C, after completion of job B, you can start C. So this is the starting time, early start time is 7 and it will take 12 weeks of time. So it will be early finish is 19. Then D, C is predecessor of that your D. You can start, early start is 19 and it will take 2 weeks of time, and the completion, that's why completion time, early completion time is 21. Here you just note down it. C is also predecessor of job E. So once you complete the job C, you can start D and E both, because C is the predecessor for both D and E. So this is the earliest completion time is 19 for job C. So after 19, you can immediately start D and E job. So earliest start of job E also is 19, and accordingly it is taking 5 weeks of time. So the completion time, early completion time is 24. So here, similarly, we have to see that E is the predecessor of F. So what is the earliest completion time of E? We have to see earliest completion time is 24. So the earliest start time for F will be 24. Once we complete the job E, we can start the job F. So it is the end of E is that end time is 24. So we can start at 24 and then we can complete. It is taking 6 weeks of time. It is 30. Then D is the predecessor of G. So for starting early start time with the early completion time of job D. And what is the earliest completion time of job D? It is 21. So this 21 will be the earliest start time for job G, and it is taking 7 weeks of time. So the finishing time is 28. Similarly, H is having two predecessors, E and G. And if you recall the formula, the maximum of the predecessor of all the activities which is leading to job activity H will be the earliest start of that. And for E, the earliest finish is, it is 24. And for G, earliest finish is 28. So which one is the maximum? Maximum value is 28. So after completion of 28 weeks, you can only start the job H. And that's why the earliest start is 28 and 6 weeks of time it is taking. So it is finishing time is 34. And according, that's what you have to decide, that based on if there are two multiple predecessor, which one is taking the longest completion time. After that you can start that particular following task, and that is the maximum of that. So here it is 20 out of 24 and 28. 28 is the maximum, and that's why 28 is the earliest start of job H. Now come to that I, that it is predecessed by C. So the completion time of C is, it is 19. So it can also start after 19, and the finishing time is 23, as it is taking 4 weeks of time. Similarly, J, there is a two predecessor, there are F and I. So you have to check again the maximum, which one is maximum. For F it is 30 and for I it is 23. So you have to take the earliest start is 30 and it is taking 6 weeks of time, it is 36. Similarly, that for K, it is predecessor is J, so you have to see the J, it is 36 to 44. Similarly, L, it is K, predecessor, so K is 44, so you can start with the 44 weeks and it can complete in 50. And M, it is H and L, so you have to check. H is 34 and L is 50, so your starting time, earliest start is 50 and the earliest finish is 57. So this is during the forward pass, we have calculated this one. Now come to that backward pass for calculating the late start and late finish time. So as I told, whatever be the maximum value, late early finish will be equated with that your late finish. So this is 57 will be that also the late finish time for this project. And we have equated this 57, and that was, it is, you have to go to the backward movement and how much time it is taking. It is taking, the job 7 is job M, it is taking 7 weeks. So 57 minus 7 is 50 is the late start of this job. Similarly, come to that your L. L is that your following activities you have to check, and whichever is the following activities, here you have to check it is the following activities is M, and it is the earliest start is will be equated as a earliest late finish late start will be the equated as a late finish time for this job, for predecessor job, and this L, the late finish will be 50, and then minus of that whatever be the duration will be that late start for that. So this is minus 6. So if there are two activities which is followed for that, for example, if I say that if you have to calculate in that your diagram, suppose if you have to calculate in this diagram, if you have to calculate the activities, this is how much this for job C, or we can say that for job C, if you have to calculate here for this job C, it is 19. Now you can say that how the 19 we got this 19 value. 19 value, that means it is followed by that 5, this C is followed by that your D, E and I. So D, E and I is followed 19, D, E and I. So D is the, we have to check for that your D, it is the late finish is, late start is 35, and E, the late start is 19, and I, the late start is 26. So 35, 19 and 26. If you recall that if there are multiple tasks followed by a particular task, if you have to calculate that what is the late start, late finish of that your predecessor, you have to take the minimum of this and this and this, and that's why from 3 activities it is the minimum value is 19, and that's why the late finish time of C is 19, and then the late start will be 19 minus time of completion 12. So this is 19 minus 12, 7, and then accordingly if there is one activity there will be no problem, you can directly put the late start will be the late finish of the predecessor activities. But if there are multiple tasks followed, you have to take the minimum one. So just go through that equations what we have discussed, we have written. One is whenever during the forward pass you have to take that your maximum of multiple path, whereas during that your backward pass you have to take the minimum of that value if there are multiple activities followed a particular task. So that way we have to calculate all these value for all the tasks, when a particular task can be started and when it will finish, and this is the early start and early finish for all these activities, late start and late finish for all these activities, and how to identify the slack critical path or critical activities. We have to determine the slack value, and it is the late finish minus early finish, this minus this, or late start minus early start. So if you see 2 minus 2 or 0, both the value will be same. So either one you can use. So this is 2 minus 2 is 0, 7 minus 7 is 0, 19 minus 19 is 0. It is 37 minus 21, it is 16. So all we can calculate from this equation the slack value. And the activity which is having a 0 slack, and it is called the total float value. What we have discussed in the earlier class, this is also represents, we can say this is the total float value. So this is the 0, the slack value, the activities which is having the slack value of 0 are the critical tasks. So here this is A, B, C, E, F, and then J, K, L, M. These are having the 0 slack value, and that's why these are the critical tasks. And these tasks, if you connect this path through this task, this is that A, B, C, and then E, F, and then J, K, L, M is representing the critical path, and that will give you the maximum duration path, and the maximum duration path is 57, and that is the project normal project completion time is the 57 weeks of time it will take to complete it. So this is how we can analyze, how can we determine the project completion time. Now see, this is the calculations, just what I have discussed. If you see that again, just I'm not going to again the similar things I will repeat. So how you can calculate if there are single activities are there predecessor, you can simply put that value. If there are multiple one here, just like H is predecessed by E and G, and this is the maximum of the early finish time. It is 24 and 28, and that's why it is 28. Similarly, during the backward pass, you have to take this is the early finished. We have equated it, and we have calculated using these equations, and the minimum value we have to take it to calculate during the here. It is if you see that your backward pass, during the backward pass, we can calculate that your when there is a single activities are there, we can directly put that late finish, late start time as a late finish of that. And if there are multiple ones, suppose that activity C, as I already mentioned about that activity C, so we can see that activity C, ABC. So this is active minimum of, because it is followed by 3 activity D, E, and I. So the latest start of D, latest start of E, and latest start of I, it is 35, 19, and 26. So minimum of this will be that late finish of activity C. So accordingly, we have to calculate it for late start and late finish for each of the activity, and we can calculate the critical path and critical task, and what is the project normal project completion time. Now see, these are the things we have already calculated for floats. We have already discussed in the last class. So similar way, we can calculate the free float and the total float. Sorry, this will be that your total float. One will be the, this is the free float, this is the total float. So the total float you can get, this is the similar to that your slack value. So using the same equations we have discussed, you can calculate the total float value and the free float. So for few activities, I have determined the free float and total float to just explain that how much delay you can do. And this is for the non-critical task. You can also, for the non-critical task, if you calculate the free float, that you have the flexibility to make the delay. So just for example, if I see the activity I, it is having the free float of 7, and this is total float and free float is similar. So you can make a delay of 7 weeks. That means if your completion time of this activity is 4 weeks, I think it was 4 weeks. So you can make it a delay by 7 weeks. That means you can complete within 11 weeks. If you don't have, you have a limited resources. So whenever you have the free resources, you can use for this activity, and you can delay by 7 maximum delay you can do, say by 7 weeks, and it will not hamper your completion time of the project. That means 57 weeks as you have determined. Beyond that, if you make delay in this project, whatever beyond that, suppose if you are delaying more than 7 by 8 weeks, that means 8 weeks if you make delay, that means your project completion time in that case will be, instead of 57 weeks, it will be of 58 weeks. So it will be delayed. So you maximum delay you can make it is, so this value represents the total float and the free float. You can make a delay of maximum 7 weeks. Here you can make a delay of 16 weeks for job D, G and H. And if the free float is lesser than that your total float, you have the limit that you cannot make the delaying of, you can start and finish the job within that particular range. After a maximum delay of, suppose it is here 16 and it is here somewhere you are getting the free float is 14. So you can somewhere you can start in between that. If you statement, if you see that here it is written, the total float and free float for the respective activities H and I are equal, but for activities D and J, the respective free floats are less than the total floats. And if you see that your these statements, the non-critical activity H and I can be scheduled anytime in the span of 28 and 44. That means within this time, your delay by this, your 16 weeks will be accommodated. If you make a beyond that, if you try to start then or try to finish, your project will be hampered. That means it will be delayed. And similarly for I, it is you can start between the early start 19 and the late start you can make it is a 20. So you can start the project anytime in between the 19 and 26. That means 7 weeks you can make a delay. If you beyond 26 weeks, if you try to start this job I, your project will be delayed. So this is what the here it is written. That means without conflicting the project completion time or schedule of that completion, normal completion time, wherever there is a non-critical task are there, you have some flexibility on that to make it a delay, and you have to properly plan the schedule the project so that timely completion done with a minimum cost, with a minimum resources, and that is the objective of this network analysis. Now come to that, just this diagram, if you see, this is just a grand chart. You can see from here also based on that early start and the early finish of each job and the late start and late finish of this job, you can somehow, if you make it a delay by this, suppose this job D, you can start early start, you can make it early finish this. But if you see this you can start somewhere here and you can finish somewhere here within this, or you can start from somewhere here, you can finish it. So maximum you can start the late, you can start here and you can finish. Beyond that, if you try to start beyond this time, if you start, then your project will be delayed by to some extent and the entire project will be delayed. So wherever the non-critical task, only for the non-critical task you have flexibility, but all these critical tasks you have to make the timely completion and timely start and timely finish of the jobs. If you make it any delay in this critical task where there is no flexibility, you have to make it with the scheduled start and scheduled completion of the project. Otherwise, your entire project completion time will be shifted and it will be delayed. So this is what how to make the project analysis, and we will explain then before going to explain this this problem. Just this is one problem just I want to give you, and for that you can see this is the normal duration and the normal cost of completion of these activities, and it is the crash days. If you suppose you can make it a crash, so suppose it is can be this job is A is completed, a normal completion time is 7 days, but it can be reduced to 5 days. And if you complete in 7 days, it will cost around 500. But if you try to complete it in 5 days, it cost is 900. That means it is increases the cost. So what is the crash cost? What is the crash cost? We have to check it, and we have to estimate this normal cost and crash cost to determine what is the completion, normal completion time and normal cost of the project. So this problem maybe I will discuss whenever we will discuss that your how to make the crashing of that your project. Suppose here we have estimated what is the completion time, 57 weeks. But suppose that your authority told you that you got the instruction, you have to complete the project within 1 year of time, and within 1 year it is maximum 52 weeks of time you have in hand, and you have to finish in within 52 weeks. That means 5 weeks of crashing you require. That means you have to crash the activity time of some of the activity by 5 weeks of time, so that the project is completed within 52 weeks. And as minimum as you have to make a burden of the cost burden. So you have to, with the optimal cost, you have to reduce the crashing of that activity. Now, how can you choose which one you are going to target to crash it, and for reducing the project duration? So that I will discuss when I will discuss that your how to crash that your particular activity. And before that, I will discuss your part analysis, and then we will discuss that. Now come to that. Just I am stopping here that your recording